Bob Canote, Camp Chaos Chronicles. What we're going to do today is show you the first in this series called the Cat Rescue. And what that involves is us going out, finding old cars, and if they're worth messing with, bring them back to the shop and see what we can do with them with an eye toward turning them into reliable daily drivers. So the first rescue is the Texas XJS. Dang it. Now the reason that I call it the Texas XJS is because I found the car on one of my Facebook groups in northern Texas, and the backstory is that the car was purchased off a Chevrolet dealer's lot in southern Oklahoma in 2014, driven for a couple of trouble-free years, and then wouldn't start. And it was found that a large aggressive rodent had eaten a significant proportion of the wires under the hood. With that information, I made the judgment that there's a reasonable possibility that the engine under that hood might actually have a chance of being a reasonably good engine. Now, beyond that, there's good news and there's bad news, and let's start with the bad news first. First of all, if you look at the car, the paint is really chalky. It's what I believe is a gunmetal silver color that has been used by Jaguar throughout most of its run with these cars. And being that it was sitting out in northern Texas, southern Oklahoma, it's pretty chalky. And the person that takes this car to its final condition is going to have to deal with the paint. Along with that, we've got an issue with the interior. Because of the fact that the car's been sitting in the sun with the windows closed, it's been really, really hot in there, and the leather has shrunk and dried out. The dash pad has been cracked. There's seams in the upholstery that are going to have to be dealt with. The wood finish is cracked and has to be redone. So there's a lot of work to be done on the inside. Other than that, the rest of it's pretty good news. Number one, it's a very complete car. It's got everything here. If you look up front, it's got a complete air dam up front, and that includes the structure behind it, which is never there. The lip spoiler itself is a thing that gets knocked off on curbs, rocks, road trash, that sort of thing, and gets thrown away, which is unfortunate because that actually serves as part of the cooling system. If you look in the trunk of the car, everything's there. You've got a real nice spare tire, a Pirelli P5, the original tire, on a real nice starfish rim with the cover. It's also got the green leather owner's manual package, which includes a perfect owner's manual and some of the receipts and other things that are relevant. And it's got all the carpet panels back there, although they're not in place at this point. The stainless steel trim and the chrome is in good condition. That can be buffed out. And because it's a Texas, Oklahoma car, there's no rust on it. There's some surface rust here and there, but in terms of footwells and trunk floors and that sort of thing, we're not going to have to deal with that at all. So let's open the hood and take a look at the reason I've got this car in the first place. Now this is the first time I've had the hood open on this car with the intention of really taking a detailed look at it. I pretty much committed myself to buying the car once I drove the 500 miles down to Texas to get it. So just looking things over, we see the pretty normal stuff. It's kind of dirty and you got corrosion, and it's just an old car that hasn't been taken really good care of over the past 20-30 years. As far as the damage caused by the rodent, there's There is a lot of it. We got some vacuum lines, the windshield washer lines that have been eaten that need to be replaced. Now there is some good news here. We pull the dipstick, the oil is full and it's clean. So, you know, maybe we got a shot at this. If it was dark and burned looking, then that would be kind of normal for a Jaguar XJS that's been sitting for a while because of an overheating issue. I don't see anything at this point that really looks like it's going to stop us. If it turns over, great, we got a shot at this. If it doesn't turn over, then we have to make the decision, okay, is this a parts car? We're going to put it on Craigslist. Or being that we got it for $500, is it worth pursuing it further with a fresh engine? If you're not running a YouTube channel, that may not be something that you're going to actually go forward with. So, onward. Okay, so what I've done here is we jacked the car up. We've got it on jack stands and climbed under here. And what I've done is put a 7/8 inch socket on the end of a breaker bar and the end of the crankshaft. Now it all really kind of comes down to what I do next. And that is try to pull this engine over by hand. If it pulls over by hand, that means we got a shot at making this engine run. If it doesn't pull over by hand, what that means is I drove 500 miles down to Texas to pick up a $500 parts car. So this kind of is a defining moment. And the fact is that I haven't done this before. The fact is that this is going to be as big a surprise to me as it is to you guys. So, and it turns. Beautiful. All right, so we've determined that this is at least at the point where we can move on and do further assessment. But the really big deal is the engine rolls over by hand. We got a shot at making this thing run and maybe making it a driver. So what we need to do now is go to the next step and determine where we want to go from here.
Everything really at this point looks pretty good. I think we just need to fix the wiring, and luckily we have another car that we can kind of look at and correct that out. And I think once we get the relay back in there and get that all wired back up, next thing to do is throw a battery in it and see if it starts and runs. If it starts and runs, then we're golden, and we can move on from there. So
yeah, that'll be a good day. Well, there you have it. That's what you're going to see next time on the Cat Rescue. If you like what you've seen, like us, subscribe to us, follow us on social media, and we'll see you next time on the Camp Chaos Chronicles. Bye! Tony, I'm going to shoot you.